It's supposed to start out back.
Crazy.
What's up, Alphas? It's your boy, Alphas M.A. Looking cute, looking clean, looking sexy.
COVID.
Yo, listen.
In honor of full disclosure.
Listen, everybody need to understand one thing. I went on Vacation Zell was in the building, and now Vacation Zell is in his room, locked up. Shout out to Akon. Shout out to Akon. He is a legend.
Did you see Akon while you were in Florida?
No, but I'm locked up. So.
Okay. Went over my head.
But I'm locked up. This is Just a Fan Live. I know we normally don't do this, but we decided to do it live. We normally have the sports on the sports channel, but this is a big sports week. But first, we got some stuff to talk about outside of sports, and then we're gonna get into the big sports thing. And
whoa! Are you trying to make the you upset? The universe upset? How dare? Are you trying to call wrestling not a sport? Wow.
Yo, listen, it is a very athletic act. Unless you want to call it a predetermined sport predetermined. It is a predetermined
sports
sport.
Entertainment, bro.
Yeah, it's sports entertainment. It's like a mixture of acting and sports at the same time. By the way, shout out to all wrestlers.
Like
they are very athletic.
Not gonna save you. Not gonna save you.
Listen. Come fight me, bro. I got COVID. Speaking of fighting, Tori, you got a story for us, don't you?
It's been one of the days. Long day, not really, but we'll get to it. I was sitting up here on the third floor of my lovely apartment, just minding my own business. Go to take my trash out, and I go out the door. I'm coming down the stairs, and at the bottom of the stairs, there's a gentleman that used to live in the building. He doesn't anymore. And then there's one of the old maintenance guys, both of them probably creeping on 70, early 60s. Mm-hmm. But I'm coming down the stairs, and they're arguing about something. And I get about third step from the bottom. And I'm trying to get through because they're like right in front of the stairs.
Mm-hmm.
And the gentleman that had moved out, he said something, but I didn't hear him at first. So I'm still coming down the stairs. And then he turns around and he says, "I said go around, nigger." And then he pushed me. And when he pushed me, I happened to drop the bag of trash and then punch him. And then I punched him again. And then I went out the door, and his wife took the time to call the police. And I mean, They agreed. They agreed with me. You can't put your hands on people. He shouldn't have shoved me. Maybe if he wouldn't have shoved me, I wouldn't have punched him. We all know it was the shove, man. He shoved me, and it set me off, so I had to strike him. But yeah, other than that, I mean, I was just going about my day, take my trash out, stop and pick up some accoutrements for the evening.
Tell me.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about right here.
That's what you do when you press the button is come on here and say, "That's what I'm talking about." You were so animated while you were muted, and then you come, "That's what you're talking about."
Hey, listen, my reaction is delayed thanks to the COVID. We blame everything on COVID.
Okay.
Joe, tell us a story, Joe. I don't know if it's anything good, but tell us something anyway.
I don't have a story, man. I think that we should definitely get right into Logan Paul signing with the WWE. And immediately calling out the Miz on Instagram, which is genius move. You said it yourself in the group, but genius move, man. Shout out to Logan Paul, man. He just keeps getting bag after bag, man. So there it is. That's all I got to say on it.
Monte.
I would just like to say I am some of the most confused I have ever been at the beginning of one of these shows that I normally am. I was surprised when I got on here and was joined by Afro Comedy Sensei. Shout out to the Bat Nipples, because I was not immediately. And then I get attacking your neighbor. Well, not attacking. I get fighting your neighbor over some garbage. He didn't attack him, but just fighting your neighbor with some garbage. Police, and then Logan Paul signs with WWE. It's like, you know what? At this point,
sounds like a good angle, don't it?
The second half of this week ain't made a lick of sense. Sports wise, social media wise.
Yeah.
Screw it. Like, matter of fact, ain't even the second half. This week ain't made no sense when it came to social media in sports, regular media, whatsoever. So screw it. They want to sign them. Go ahead and sign them. It ain't like WWE hasn't fully signed or temporarily signed people before. That's been a little questionable. So I mean,
yeah.
Screw it at this
point. And he could get released anytime.
Let's see how bad the writing gonna be around Logan Paul's storyline.
Stephanie and Triple H with the photo op. Stephanie and Triple H.
Oh, he got the finger, bro. He got the Triple H point.
Let's see how bad the writing's gonna be surrounding his story.
He's gonna be. Logan Paul is breaking the Roman Reigns streak.
Exactly. Let's see how bad. Let's see how bad the writing gonna be. Let's see how. Just for the simple fact that is a possibility. Yeah. Let's see how bad the writing gonna be.
A real one.
Well, yes, technically we want to talk about it, but technically everything this week, even early in the week, which we can't even get to all that. We'll focus on some of that next week. Has been crazy as Monte's TikTok comments. That's all I gotta say. Monte TikTok comments is insane. They told me Goku can beat Sun Jin Woo and Jim Mori because he nullified a punch that can destroy the universe. I'm like, this dude create universes.
Come on now.
Like what if he stopped the destruction when I could just randomly create? The comments wild. But as we talked about, Logan Paul has signed with WWE. It's a multi-premium live event, a PLE deal where mostly he'll appear. His first date appears to be on July 18th on Raw. He will be appearing, most likely setting himself up for him versus The Miz at SummerSlam, which already set up from WrestleMania and everything previously before. Logan Paul said, well, I never had a boss before. You two are my first bosses I ever had. Same thing, basically what Pat said, his first time in a decade. Logan said this is his first time in his whole life. But I'm pretty sure that contract ain't on the same level as everybody else's because they already have a brand. And Pat McAfee still does his own show. And I'm pretty sure that Logan, who has more followers than anybody on the entire roster.
Unless we count The Rock on the roster.
Yeah, The Rock is not on the roster, so don't count that.
Hey, he could be coming for Logan.
Yo, we do already got a Rock versus Logan Paul beef from the podcast.
That is a real
back from Japan.
For a bag.
Back from Japan, Andy. He said it on the True Geordie podcast too. Geordie said it too, Logan. He was like, The Rock versus Logan. If you sign, it could happen. And this was, Logan told us what he was doing. He even tied it into the NFTs he's selling. Now, if you buy one of the NFTs, I thought NFTs were dead, but now if you buy one of the Logan Paul NFTs, you and a friend get multiple tickets to WWE.
There's a lot of money. There's a lot of money in all this right now. I can say that much. There's a lot of money, and
there may not be a lot of wrestling fans left, but they spend money avidly. Like, it's crazy how much wrestling fans spend money. So they're good pockets to tap into. Especially merchandise-wise.
Let's go ahead and admit it.
He's the master of merch. Look at him. He's going to be wearing Maverick stuff all over WWE TV. Look at how much free promo that is right there for his clothes.
What'd you say, Monte?
Bruh.
I just want you to go ahead and admit it like I have. WWE sucks. Let's just come on.
But at least from what we've seen, Logan Paul is good in the ring.
Come on and join. Good. Come on. I just need to come on and join. WWE sucks. Come on, just come on and join.
Uniqo and Zelme both watched Logan Paul at WrestleMania. Joe screamed at us drunkenly about who was the greatest a couple times, but it was a good time. But Logan Paul,
my olive branch is extended. Come on and join us.
And Joe repeatedly told us, I popped. And he just kept saying he popped over and over again.
He popped a lot that night. It was
like, join me in my 2 meetings.
Who told Joe? I don't know who told Joe the word pop, but he used it a lot.
He made sure to work it in. He was like, we're talking wrestling, dog.
Yeah.
He was trying to work. Was he working us into a shoot, or was he trying to shoot us into a work? That's the real question.
Oh, man. Hold on. No, more wrestling terms I could use.
We'll get you a dictionary together, Joe.
Working shoots.
Let me talk to Monte. Let me go devil's advocate to Monte.
Oh.
Okay. WWE audience average age is 53 years old. They have millions of 53-year-olds on average viewers. Logan Paul has millions of people that watch every podcast and every show. And they all from the age of 18 to 24. If you know television love that 18 to 49 bracket, specifically 18 to 36, which Logan Paul fan base is full of. If you watch WrestleMania, you can see a lot of Maverick shirts. Pat McAfee's is like 24 to 36, so you add Pat McAfee, you add Logan Paul. Now, people like, does it work on that end? Does his viewers translate? They translate to boxing. Boxing now has a larger, younger audience than they did before. I know people who never watch boxing who all know who Devin Haney and Tank Davis is, and had no clue 2 years ago. Matter of fact, both of them was on a Logan Paul undercard, and they the two probably with the biggest names outside beside Taylor, then with T.O. and Brian Garcia. So if they can move them over, if you can translate that, you can save your audience from completely dying off because they all 53-year-old white men.
You know,
for the most part, that's the demo.
The unfortunate thing about that is that for boxing, you don't have to write a storyline on a week-to-week basis to get them to watch boxing. You can just have them go and just watch boxing and have some good boxers. You don't got to write anything. I ain't got to worry about writers and personas and storylines most of the time for boxing because there's only one fight. But for WWE, I got to figure out something else besides those 20 minutes on average. Logan Paul is going to be on television, and I got a 3-hour show. 2 times.
Well, he's only going on premium live events for the most part. I thought the contract was.
Well, he only going to wrestle on
minor
wrestle on premium live events.
For the few moments that he's going to be on screen.
Okay, so.
You know, the 20 minutes, I got to figure out them other 2 hours and 40 minutes for both shows. And then I got to write his storyline as well. And the storylines for most of the other parts have all sucked. And I still have part-time champions that don't wrestle on their shows for the majority of the time anyway, especially the WWE Universal Champion.
No, they cut a lot of them. People get fired over in Vince's yard.
Because we've had a part-time WWE Universal Champion for part of 3 years. So, yeah, WWE sucks. Join me, Grandpa.
Hey, I'm just trying to give them. I understand what they're doing. My point is, what I told Tori a long time ago was, please ask Logan Paul input on something.
Join us.
Yeah.
Please ask him for input. Do not try to write everything yourself and think, oh, they just gonna come over because they watched it. No, they are not gonna watch some dude shave some man back. Or Becky Lynch
But there's a big difference now. Vince isn't in charge anymore. This is the first time in. Well, listen, I know, but as far as the shareholders and all that are concerned, Vince isn't in charge anymore. Triple H is.
But he still has creative control. This has been best
case scenario for every wrestling fan for the last 10 years is Triple H being in control. I have personally said, man, I hope Vince McMahon kicks the bucket so Triple H can take over.
Wow.
Wow. But either way, he still has creative control and creative direction over all their storylines. So WWE still sucks. Come on, join us. WWE sucks.
To my take part, Vince still runs off and jumps off this thing and comes out every week just for like 10 seconds just to say I'm here. And don't you forget it.
I love it.
Look, it's so hilarious though.
He almost fell and people.
Yeah, I throw this out here.
I know we're gonna tear both quads again.
Joe, what you were saying, Joe?
I know we about to move on and whatnot. I just want to throw this out here. You know, with him calling out the Miz, I want everybody to know that Real World New Orleans, what's it called? Reunion is coming. So make sure y'all watch that Paramount.
Dang.
Is Miz gonna be on the reunion?
And don't forget, Miz got his own TV show on one of them cable networks.
Which one does he have one on? Is it on E?
It's Miz and Mrs. It's on USA because that's the one Raw's on, right?
Yep.
USA is Paramount. Yeah. So I think he might be on that reunion.
Well, USA is NBC.
Well, I mean, he's got. I don't.
Oh,
it's on. No, it might be on E. It might be on E.
No, it's on USA. Come on every time after Raw. It comes on
Okay.
after Raw directly. So
I'm just saying, man, they just have.
I be watching Raw recorded. Fast forward through it.
That was my favorite season of Real World. Real World New Orleans was my favorite.
That was like the first one. He was on one of the early seasons, like in the 2003, 2004.
Sweet double D. But yeah, man. Yeah, so that's all I had on that. I just wanted to throw that out there. Come on, be my Ray said, come on, take my what is it, olive branch? I can't sing the song right now.
Join us.
Just join.
Join us and accept the truth.
What else is there truth about today, Zell May?
don't sound like my cousin Ray J. But
what?
Damn. Is Brandy coming on here now?
Have my baby.
now Brandon actually sound good.
Waiting on my baby that I'm holding. Waiting on my baby that I'm holding. Waiting. What? What was that?
Joe, leave my cousin alone, bro. Why you hating?
Yeah, Norwood fat man.
Hey, but he got the cup noodle deal though.
He did get he should get a cup noodle deal.
The cup noodle bag.
He gets on my nerves. He may have sang that terribly on purpose, but at the same time, he do got like a I can't see no more body. Did y'all see that? It's like
hit that wall.
Here, I know how to save this. Get my son.
Hit that leg. I'm like, what are you doing? Why y'all all doing that?
They save everything.
All niggas eat cup noodles. Maybe no, that was we'll never forget that. Waiting on my baby. Waiting on my baby. What the fuck was that? Anyway, man.
R&B niggas is wild.
Speaking of R&B niggas being wild, great job, Tori. You're doing so good at your media training. That's good. Go ahead.
Yes, and we're hearing that a lot of people, a lot of women right now, this just for Monday, I want y'all to see his face, are saying that Usher will beat Chris Brown in the verses.
I'm sorry. We segued into the wrong thing.
Oh, my bad. We talking about R. Kelly got 30 years. But I just want to see Monte's face when I
mean, that's a very real possibility.
Man, why didn't Chris Brown's album sell more?
Because he hated on the slick by women now.
Bruh.
They're going to make Chris Brown sing.
I saw a lot of people talking about this album, and then I looked at the numbers. I was like, dang, they're hyping it, but no one purchased it.
Well, numbers don't.
Well, you got to realize R&B albums aren't really purchased like rap albums are.
They are.
Well,
rappers. It used to be flipped,
know,
but now it's kind of.
He used to put up them numbers.
I said used to be.
Part 47.
Used to be. Speaking of R. Kelly has got 30 years in prison.
Speaking of R. Kelly,
for allegedly kidnapping,
trafficking,
hiding, being behind the camera.
He got more time than Ghislaine.
More time than Ghislaine.
Taking girls to the park and recording them, saying we're having fun. I'm like, who records a 20-year-old saying I'm having fun?
Urinating on underage people, putting them in cages.
No, he got away with that at first. We cannot.
There was more than one though. That's the thing.
He got a fresh one, dog. The new one, like 20 years old. That's past it.
Here's the deal, y'all, and then let's go off about it. R. Kelly got sentenced, federal courts, 30 years. Boom, there it is. That's what it is. 15 will get you 30. Period. The old adage.
Let's go.
And but can we talk about? They got him on tape, like in 2004 or 5. You could download it on Kazaa.
But don't people, because that constitutes child pornography.
No, don't do it. I'm just saying, there's a point in time, there was a CD going around at your local barbershop of R. Kelly doing what he does. The Boondocks explains this clearly. That is the most accurate episode of Boondocks, and they got mad accurate episodes. He got away with it. This is what got him. A whole bunch of he said, she said got him. That's what got him.
He could fly.
No, his songs kind of got him too. He did say he the Pied Piper.
Ain't nothing but a number.
That doesn't mean that you can make that assumption. You can make that a parallel, but at the end of the day, that's not he. Yeah, who told him about the Pied Piper in the first place? Because he for damn sure didn't read it. I'm just saying. Okay.
Well, he knew what it was because he sure was doing it.
If these things are true, because like I said, it's a whole bunch of he said, she said, a whole bunch of bodyguards.
He had to have help. Who was helping him?
That's what we say about Ghislaine was the helper, and that's the one that got in trouble. But
that's because that's being gotten.
This is my only thing about it. man, he's still getting played at the family reunion and the weddings. That's just what it is. Sorry.
You playing AJ nothing but a number, Joe?
No, I'm not going to. No, that's not appropriate for a wedding.
It may be, depending on who getting married.
I'm going to sing Step in the Name of Love. We're going to.
Hey, listen, our grandparents married at 36 and 16,
dog. In the name of, Joe?
Stepping in the name of love, but not underage
stepping in
love.
the name of forbidden love.
No, that's not. He doesn't. He never says that.
Joe, some of them lyrics in that song wild too.
Whatever, man.
Joe,
what? Oh my.
Bro, mad innuendos. Every R. Kelly song can be
almost every
into
song. I ain't lying, bro. I studied this random stuff like random information. Just a random fact. Benjamin Franklin wrote how to do an at-home abortion, and he wrote a book about it. That's just random.
There's some news you can use, y'all.
I'm a source of information, so I'm telling you right now, 90% of R. Kelly songs got in the window that he was messing with.
If that's mine, if those are the ears that you're listening,
every trapped in the closet, bro.
All right, all the girls out there. Oh, girls mean that's like not woman. Because that means that's under 18. If you
more specific.
I don't want to hear that shit, man.
What about when he was in what about when he was in Africa and he was singing about do you have your shots? Do you want to come back to Kells with to America? Bruh.
He said you got to be 18.
But we're talking about sex trafficking. You can sex traffic at any age.
All right, so I said what I had to say about this situation.
I'm gonna tell you your thoughts.
I'm done.
I've already said on like previous podcasts, I have zero issues still listening to R. Kelly's music. Like that's because of the simple fact R. Kelly is not the first and only person who has a musical library and has gotten in trouble with the law in different.
Look at Michael Jackson.
Like Michael Jackson is just one example of somebody who got in trouble with the law on something that is bad, and people still religiously love his music. You can talk about Elvis. You can even go to recent one like we were talking about earlier. Chris Brown got arrested for domestic violence. Nobody seems to bat an eye when it comes about playing Take You Down nowhere. Oh, okay. No. We're just gonna ignore that fact. Like, do you know how many rappers got arrested, got warrants out for their arrest, got track records longer than the Christmases I came up with last year? Like, what are we talking about here? Like, so many rappers there, but yet we're still religiously rapping their music, religiously singing their songs.
David Bowie, Ted Nugent.
All right, are you kidding me? Like, what are we talking about here? Trey Songz literally is in trouble now, and we're still praising Ready as one of the best R&B albums and still playing it. Like, what are we talking about here? So I understand R. Kelly's a horrible person for the actions that he did. Not condoning that. He got probably a little bit less than what he deserved, to be honest with you.
Let's go.
But separating the actions of the person from the art that they create is something that we do normally. So I'm not understanding this mentality. I can never listen to his song. Well, if you can't never listen to his song, you might well cut out at least 50 to 75% of all music. Period. Because the majority of, I don't say the majority, but a good chunk of the artists we know of today have gotten in trouble or have done something that is not good.
I don't know about with children and dogs, though. That's different.
It's a lot of them, Tor.
It doesn't matter. Like, we're trying to weigh what crime against the other. You can't weigh one crime against the other. Like, no matter if you're going to take it biblically or not, you can make one sin versus the other. Like, all of them, if they're wrong for what they did. So, like, there's no point in trying to say, oh, well, this was so much worse than that. There are literally some rappers that have committed murder.
Yeah.
And we're still rapping their songs with no problem.
I mean, all right.
Man, it'd be banging, though.
Hey,
like, what are we talking about here? Like, what is the point of just being like, all of a sudden, you choosing not to listen to their music is all of a sudden going to be retribution against the thing they did? What? What kind of moral high ground sense does that make? It's just literally a comfort thing. If you're not comfortable doing that music, they're fine. But you can't just be like a moral high ground, oh, I'm never going to listen to that music again. Wow. Like, I literally, for R. Kelly, for example, we can say, like, okay, some of the songs he may have had innuendo. They may or may not have. The problem is we'll never know his mindset when it comes to this, every individual song that he made in his entire catalog. We'll never know this man's mindset for every individual song. We never will. Like, you can ask him, it's unlikely to give you a full answer. So, like, we'll never know the full answer for everything. We can say some of the songs. We can even say "Step in the Name of Love." For all we know, that could have been made, and he could have been thinking of some random girl when he did that. We don't know. We could. I Believe I Can Fly. We could say, oh, that ain't got nothing to do with kids. We don't know what he was thinking when he made that mug. But we still gonna be like, oh, that's a wonderful song, remembering all things Space Jam and all that kind of. We gonna say that all day. So, like, just picking the quote unquote freaky song and say, oh, he was thinking of kids. We don't know that. We never will.
Well, like I said, some of them does say it. Ted Nugent had Jailbreak.
Like age ain't nothing but a number. It's like, okay, cool, yeah, we can take that. Because that's almost like blatantly obvious. But like, everybody want to take every individual song. Like, can we say Ignition had everything to do with little girls? I don't know. To be honest, I don't know. But all I know, when we hit that mug in the club, you know, or at least used to, probably not now, but when we used to hit that mug in the club, well, nobody thinking of little girl at that point. Like, it sort of bunkers me a little bit. Like, why? Mm-hmm. Like, what's the reason? Like, if you aren't having that mentality, I don't get it. Then, like, that's my thing. So,
listen with the heart that you just listening to it with, and go on about your business. That's about it. Come on, man.
Chocolate Factory still finna get played in certain situations.
It sure is.
And I promise you, plenty of
remix to Ignition tonight
finna have Chocolate Factory on replay. Ain't thinking of damn little girl, little boy, none of that BS.
Dave Chappelle made the best parody of those songs, and niggas was still like, yeah, we know that song.
That's all I'm saying. Are they wrong?
He's Dave Chappelle. That's hilarious.
That's what I'm saying. Like, all right, cool, but we still gonna listen to the actual R. Kelly version of it. So, no problem there.
True.
Like, okay, that may have happened, but we still gonna listen. Running our hand through
perfect,
my throat.
perfect. I can give you a perfect one. I can give you a last
example. Super well publicized.
Be like, well, you know, no. Do we need to remember? No, Mario. We just saw him in the verses, right? We forgot, like, he was arrested in 2010. Assaulting his mom, you know, had to deal with a lot of issues and stuff. We forget that part though. But how could you? No. You should let me. We ain't got no problem singing them though, right? But the person that made it had issues, done something that was horrible. Oh, but we ain't got no problem singing songs, right? Man, please.
You deserve better, girl.
Yo, Kendrick kept R. Kelly whole catalog on.
I'm gonna take those words for it.
Shout out to Kendrick Lamar though. He kept R. Kelly whole playlist on the internet.
You can be a
this is nothing against none of those people I named or anything. I ain't got nothing against them. It's examples. Like, you can't take the person and then just lump the music with like, you can separate the art a person makes from the music. I mean, the art that the person makes from the person. You can separate the things that they create and be independent of the person themselves.
It's a product.
And it's up to you if you buy it or whatever. It don't matter. I don't care. People gonna play it.
I'm just saying, if a murderer created the light bulb, you finna go in your house using candles every day, all day?
It's the fact a black man actually made a modern light bulb. But
yep. If he was a murderer, were you gonna ignore him using light bulbs throughout the rest of your days, or you gonna say screw it?
The racist white people might, like Tory's downstairs neighbor.
Yeah, he definitely.
Tell me what the film made that.
It wasn't Thomas Edison. I'm living in the woods.
There's an episode going to. Anyway, so yeah, that what's happening? Who invented basketball?
Horrible.
Bob Cousy. All right, time to get in sports.
Bob Cousy.
Horrible.
Tori, man, feel free to stick around, man. I know this ain't your cup of tea, man, but we just thought, man, we had to get the tough stuff out of the way, brother.
Out.
You gentlemen have got this.
We're playing basketball. We love that basketball. Now, starting number 1, basketball. Man, what the hell? What is going on?
The
Who
NBA.
got fleeced? Who got fleeced in the NBA this week? I've been hearing whispers.
Timberwolves.
What? Where do y'all want to start with this? Oh my God. So we had a good first couple of hours of free agency. We got that. I guess the biggest news was like, okay, KD's looking for that trade right now. Okay. So that's big news. Kyrie opted in. I believe that he told KD, yeah, bro, I'm opting in. I need that 37 million. And but I'm not gonna play. I'm just gonna let you know now. I'm not gonna play a lot of games this year. So if you love basketball so much, I suggest you get a trade, man, and just force your way out, bro. But I'm gonna get that 37 million. So we
could go to the Lakers.
Or if they figured that out, then we'll go together. But we got that looming in the background. They broke up the championship Timberwolves.
Shout out to Pat Bev.
Boston just got better.
Got an actual point guard.
Which is something I said they needed.
You move Mark. So let's start with Boston. So the Pacers made a trade with Boston, which the Boston Celtics, which would give them Malcolm Brogdon. Malcolm Brogdon is going to Boston, which is going to help that backcourt. Even though I like White, I liked him, but Brogdon I think is going to be a better fit as far as maybe running the offense. Does Smart and him start, or is that like what is that? How do you do that? What do you want?
Smart goes back to the bench.
Marcus Smart, defensive player of the year, goes to
was a sixth man of the, if I recall right, was a sixth man of the year as well.
Okay,
like Smart goes back to the bench. Like it's not a slight against Smart. Smart originally came off the bench, was a spark off the bench, and he stepped up into that point guard role because really Boston needed one, because his two stars was a bit struggling to facilitate the offense and make everybody involved, and Smart helped with that progress. I mean, that process. But a more natural point guard, because Smart works best when he's able to be, a defensive threat and, can get some shots off and stuff like that. He's a good player, but I think Smart works best when he doesn't have to facilitate an offense. He can focus more on defense and things of that nature. Because even this year, you could see there were plenty of times Boston struggled to get his offense moving, other than just jacking up threes like the freaking Golden State or something. They would struggle to get their offense moving. So even though Brogdon is young, having a more natural point guard is really good and something that they really needed. And they basically got him for chump change almost. They traded a first round pick. Okay, cool. Tyus, or Dan Tease or Tyus or whatever. Pretty straight center. No real issues.
Tyus can stretch. Big man.
And and some other random players. Like they got him for so cheap. And I was so surprised and get so happy. I was like, okay, so now we got another young player with the young core, Smart, Brown, Tatum. So they got young players. They got good. They got something to grow with, something that'll be competitive for years. I'm relatively happy with it. Got no real issues at this point. Just I hope the team gets better. The young players turn into better stars. They get that cohesiveness there, and that's what I'm hoping for. I really am.
Okay. Well, so we got Boston. Just feels like they're just getting better at this point. We saw that Tucker and Brown. Brown didn't so much a struggle, but I just felt like they had a lot of offensive series where they didn't know what the hell was going on. Pacers. Okay, you got. I'm still trying to figure out who Aaron Nesmith is. He's 22, so he's young. He's 6'5", small forward at 215 pounds. He's from Vanderbilt. Smart kid, obviously. But nobody knew. Shout out to our boy Gerald. He said, "I never heard. That's my favorite team, and I didn't hear about him into the playoffs." So there's that. I like the addition of Daniel Theis, and then I think the Celtics are going to end up probably ending the season high. So that being said, that first round pick, do you get somebody at pick 27, 26, something like that? So got that going on.
Brogdon is also a 50, 40, 90 guy. He one of the few players in the league history that will be 50, 40, and 90. So that's a very good pickup.
I think it's a huge pickup for them. So I mean, I like that trade. So Boston's looking in a good place.
Decent defender too.
What other things caught your eyes during this free agency? We into day 2 now. So what you thinking?
Biggest move of the day, the blockbuster trade is 5 players, including Pat Bev,
including championship playing MVP.
I mean, he make Chris Paul like he a cone. That's how good Pat Bev is. And 4 other players, along with 4 first-round picks, 3 being unprotected, for basically just Rudy Gobert.
Yeah, just Rudy Gobert.
3 unprotected, by the way, which I thought was insane.
So
that mean they can be trash and they get them picks regardless.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna let you know that the Minnesota Timberwolves literally has shown throughout the course of this entire playoff run and in the offseason that something is not right in their organization.
Ineptitude.
I don't understand how you got finessed this hard over Rudy Gobert. I get you. Rudy Gobert is a tall, very good defensive big man when it comes to independent. But any kind of stretch flow, any kind of range, he struggles defensively. We saw this in the playoffs 2 years in a row. Not to mention, he doesn't really have much of an offensive game, period. So I don't understand how four picks,
3 unprotected,
a pick swap, and then just a smorgasbord of players. Now, to be fair, they're pretty much all like role players, like backup players. They're not really none of your main stars, but still. Abundance of players, 4 picks and a pick swap for Rudy Gobert. Somebody that y'all might even have defensive issues when other teams go small. And you may have to take off the court anyway. Just like the Jazz, dealt with.
Yeah.
And this seemed like a good idea.
What is KD gonna get if Rudy Gobert got this?
Seemed like a good idea. I don't even know how they starting 5 really like cohesively works when you got Karl Anthony Towns who likes to shoot threes, which really should not shoot this many freaking threes. But now that he's gonna be on the freaking 4, probably
he won that 3-point shootout. He got crazy.
He might be just jacking them mugs up. And he just got a Supermax too, man. So he might just be jacking these mugs up. And now I got to depend on who? Anthony Edwards.
Anthony Edwards.
To facilitate, because now you really need somebody to facilitate the ball. You don't need you really need a facilitator now, because Gobert is pretty much useless without somebody like a good natural point guard to help set him up.
They hoping D'Angelo Russell be that guy, Monte.
Yeah, we're gonna need him to be. But that team is young, and we got star power building up now. And if everybody want to do a lot, Gobert don't need to just be sitting out there in the middle of the long two-pointer area struggling. And we remember the West currently full of shooters.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't quite know how this is gonna work. And I'm not saying it's bad. It's just I feel like they gave up way too much. I feel like they gave up too much. I'm just gonna say too much. Maybe 3 firsts and a bunch of players that would have got it, because Gobert just did not look good this year or last year, frankly, in the playoffs to warrant this much for him.
He's just so tall as to how can you not average 16, 17, 18 points a game just for existing?
Because he doesn't shoot.
Well, in the words of Ant, I am not impressed by Rudy Gobert.
Well, you better start getting impressed to be a teammate.
My man literally quoted it. He's like, I go to the rim, I have no fear of Rudy Gobert. Well, why did y'all get him? Did they not talk to you? You are the star of the team.
They don't care. The management is just like, now to be fair, they need some defensive help. So he does help them defensively, especially on the inside. He helps with it. It's just when teams go small, which is what a lot of Western teams can do, is if they go small and they start shooting. I'm just saying, it might not look too pretty. So We're gonna see what their head coach got in him for this third year, because he's gonna have something this year.
Shout out to Mike. He said the players they gave up aren't really stars. That's why I get that. But I ain't giving up 4 first-round picks for no Rudy Gobert.
No.
4 first round of the picks. Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm not. Even though I do agree the players ain't nothing special. You do, but you do got Mr. Take him to the playoffs, Pat Vibes, because it's time for him to take another team to the playoffs.
And let me talk about him for a second, if you don't mind. Imagine. I want y'all to imagine. You're in Houston, and you're in these crazy playoffs against Oklahoma City. Okay, whatever. You end up in Los Angeles, and you're like, oh, I'm in Los Angeles. I'm play in Los Angeles. Then you get to move to Minnesota, and you like, damn, this is so much different than Los Angeles. And then
don't forget Houston.
I start off with Houston.
Oh, okay.
Start off with Houston. And then, so you're in these 2 beautiful cities, Houston, you go to Los Angeles, then they send you in Minnesota, and you're like, it can't get any worse than this. They send you to Salt Lake City, Utah. That has, from a location standpoint, that has to suck. From a living my life every single day type of aspect, like I went from living in Houston, eating good food, doing what we do, then going to Los Angeles, living every single culture that they have in the world, then going to Minnesota, which we know what type of demographic that is. But you go to even worse situation than Minnesota. You go to Utah, which is not even arguably the most white state in America.
Shout out for Karl Malone for keeping the steak with some flavor in it.
Speaking of R. Kelly, I mean, okay. So with that being said, man, that's tough, man. Do y'all agree? Is that a tough destination?
Well, once you the best player in the league and can make Chris Paul look like a cone, no matter where you go, you taking your team to the playoff because he's the best player in the world because he can talk crazy to everybody. You know what I mean?
Donovan Mitchell's not getting traded, huh?
Most likely not.
It's not guaranteed.
Let's see what Mike says. Maybe Towns told him he was tired of playing with 5 with the leverage players these days. He could easily demand a trade if they don't appease him. Doesn't seem like some cat would pull though. True. I don't think Cat would pull that, but he do want to shoot threes. So I like
Cat needs Bev at this point.
It just depends.
Pat was a more bearable Jimmy Butler. Like he could like Pat is actually kind of cool to people that he's tough on. Like Jimmy Butler's just like, nah, I want all y'all, and I'm gonna beat you, and I hate y'all, and I don't want to be.
But he had everybody but Wiggins, which was interesting.
Well, we saw what happened with that. So
he's a champion now.
So it just depends. Mitchell ain't necessarily there quite yet. I mean, the Heat have, made a few offers, as I've recently seen, but the Heat have been making a few offers to a bunch of people because they want a second star. At this point, they are desperate. I ain't gonna say desperate, but at this point, they trying to get over this hump. They need some scoring. So.
Can we talk about gambling on supermax contracts? First person come to mind, Zion Williams. He got a super duper triple max deal, $231 million. They got him until like 2027, 2028. I would be surprised if he plays 65 games throughout that span. That's my over under. So
you ain't even giving him 65, bro, in 4 years?
Yeah.
Technically, now I'm pretty sure this deal gonna have stuff in it that if he doesn't play, he don't get paid.
Yeah, it's gotta have.
It's the same thing Greg Oden had, so I'm pretty sure they gave him that much money with probably a security blanket. That, hey, bro, you gotta be healthy.
They gotta have you gotta be healthy, play this many amount of games without major concerns. Something. It's got to be something in there with it.
Like even like the Carson Wentz trade, with how they broke that contract up. Like you have to take X amount of percentage of snaps in order for then you can get the first round.
Yeah, people don't be realizing these contracts have stuff in them. They have plenty of stuff in them. Sometimes you don't typically think about it because it's not really a concern most times. But there's plenty of things in contracts to try to protect the team in case players try to be stupid or screw them over or just stuff doesn't go right. Yeah.
I mean, they did it for whatever reason. Kyrie got it, so he didn't get paid that full amount. So I'm sure there's something in this $37 million here that's probably the same as last year. Like you got to.
Yeah, I mean, there's contracts like, oh, if you decide to sit down and not pay, then we're not going to pay you. Just like Ben Simmons decided not to sit, and he's about $20 million short of what he would have had and he's trying to file a grievance to get that back. It's like,
no, sir.
I don't know how well that's what's gonna go. So
Mike said, but for that package they gave up, they could have gotten KD. I don't know, seem logical. That is a lot. Like, I want to know what you got to give up to get KD. But I think Durant may have no trade player.
You need a franchise player like right now, and then you need some pieces to go with them. If you're the Nets, if I'm giving up KD,
the Nets starting in mode of they still want to be competitive. Like, they don't want to totally start over. They still want to be competitive. What I've seen from some of the reports and things is they want 2 All-Stars starting off. Most conversations that they want 2 All-Stars. Ultimately, the first place they went to was Phoenix because, he said he wanted to play at Phoenix and I think Miami and stuff. Miami don't. No, I'll get to Miami afterwards. Phoenix refused to get off of Booker, period. Like, if they'd have got off of Booker, that trade would have been done. They refused to get off Booker.
Who signed the max too?
Booker's got NBA 2K23.
Yeah, he got a max. Like, they need that just to let you know we're not getting off Booker. So Booker's already probably a no-go. And if Booker ain't going, the Nets probably aren't going to make that trade. So he might not end up going to Phoenix, period, just because of the whole Booker, which I can't necessarily blame them. Even though Booker took a step back, he is basically their future that they're riding on, especially because Aiden is now probably a lost cause. So that's one thing. What I found out today also is that there is an issue with the Miami trade because as a result of having Ben Simmons' specific rookie deal on their roster, there's a lot of players that they cannot trade for. So in order to trade for certain players like Bam Adebayo for one, or even Jamal Murray from the Nuggets for another one, it's a good list of players. They would have to trade Ben Simmons so that his contract is off of their books before they'd be able to trade for some of these other players. So the thing about a trade for KD is even more complicated because of Ben Simmons being on their roster and then being unable to trade for a decent number of All-Stars. So it's a bit of a mess. I don't really know where he's gonna go by the end of this. If I'm him, well, he can go what he wants. Phoenix was an okay spot. I mean, I don't really know where he can go. I was of the mindset that he should have rolled out this year. Like once Kyrie signed back on for the year, I was of the mindset you got Ben Simmons, you got him, pick back up Joe Harris, not Brogdon. They picked I think Claxton, they signed back on Claxton. They had Seth Curry. They literally, to me, even had really good odds to win the title once Kyrie signed back on for that year. I was really surprised that he just decided to opt out now and try to get a trade rather than ride out the year and try and just make a shot of it for a year. Like I really was of the mindset you could have took a shot at it for this year. See what you got in Ben with Kyrie last year, and then depending on how the year play out, if that don't go well, then request a trade. But now it's anybody's guess at this point where he goes, because really who can give you the best package based on the stuff with Ben and what can you be traded for? Because right now they weren't really looking at Miami's trade with, I think it was like Tyler Hero, a bunch of picks, and somebody else, whatever their starting guard is. And I was like,
maybe Chalmers, maybe. You got to throw an all-star in there somewhere.
Chalmers.
Because I don't even think because then the Grizzlies, which I thought that would be a nice spot for him to land in. The Grizzlies trying to get rid of Jaren Jackson Jr. and somebody else. But
they got some pieces.
His name might be on their list too, but not even counting that. He just got surgery that's going to take him out 4 to 6 months. So it's like, well, he can't even be the main starting point for when the year begins, at least not 100%, because I don't really know if he's going to be fully rested and ready by the time October comes around. And then he's going to be the centerpiece, because they really looking for like an alternate person to form their stuff around, at least a younger all-star or two. It's a really finicky situation based on the stuff with Ben's contract and where Durant wants to go and how much they're trying to appease them versus, we could just send this man to freaking New Orleans and pick up, a couple of stars and some picks. And it just depends on how this is going to shake out. I don't know. At this rate, the only place I know he probably can't really get traded to, probably the Los Angeles Lakers. And I know I've seen plenty of clickbait on plenty of sports shows and everything like, oh, the Lakers can trade for everything. No, they can't. It's not. There's probably not even a package they could put together that'll realistically get Kevin Durant, let alone Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving.
We giving them AD and Russell Westbrook, and they're gonna take it.
They don't.
We don't even got draft picks to offer the trade.
They don't got. They first draft pick is in 2027. They first draft pick because they gave up so much to get Anthony Davis prior to this, and then they gave up a little more to get Russell Westbrook. But
yeah.
Well, we'll see how that goes. Now, it's a bit more of a long shot for them to possibly get Kyrie, but they really can't trade much for him without trading Anthony Davis, and I'm not sure they want to do that. I've heard it up in the air. I don't really know. All I know right now, I'm trying to weigh it out between whether the NFL or the NBA has had the crazier off season. I don't really know who's winning right now. Them off seasons have been wild. Yeah. So I'm gonna see how this KD one shake out and the residual effects of it, because not only him, Harden still on free agency right now. So I just got to see it. I got to see how this shakes out. Even though it's gonna be funny, it's gonna be funny. We'll see.
Shout out to Bradley Beal for knowing his worth. Because if he knew it was good for him, you gotta opt back in, because I don't think anybody's paying that much for you.
Lies.
Somebody paying him a supermax. Somebody paying him.
They gave him a 4-year one. Now the Lakers can't do it because the Lakers don't have no cap space and nothing to do anything with.
They give him Russell Westbrook.
Also we got Luol Deng off the books finally, so he's fine.
Oh, that name, I hadn't heard that in a while.
Yeah, yesterday he is finally. We do not have to pay him anymore. I don't know how the hell how this happened. This dude's been chilling for like years, hanging out, getting a check from the Lakers.
Shout out to Mike. He said, I was here early in New Orleans, Brandon Ingram and 5 picks for the rent.
Wow. They have the picks because they got the Lakers picks. So
I was just like, it's a bunch of places that can put some packages together.
Kevin Durant and NO with Zion, who is up in the air. But now you get into a whole nother Kyrie situation. And then one person, he doesn't play because he just doesn't want to. And the other one doesn't play because
he's 300 pounds.
And also, I think he just doesn't want to. All he does is make fancy ass videos at the practice facility of him doing windmills, bruh. I haven't seen him shoot a shot in years, man.
Hey, when he was playing, he did shoot almost 70%, which is very impressive. And average 29 points whenever you play. So he is a monster when he play.
I ain't seen him in the man of years, man.
But he is playing.
And then remember when he came back on them minutes restrictions and was balling, and then they had to take him out because they was like, nah, you over your minutes. But they was like, he was bringing them back, and his potential is there. I love it, but it is what it is. But shout out to Bradley Beal for being smart enough to know his worth, because I would have opted back in.
You should have bailed. You should have bailed and went to a contender. No,
and Kyle Kuzma got this. They just go
like the Washington actually got like a pretty decent
on paper. It's not bad.
Not bad, just it's not good enough. Normally.
Hey, while we on the KD run from the grind tour, we see Bradley Beal stay on the grind tour.
Bag tour. We keep talking about Portland. We forget about that with the KD situation.
That's actually where I figured it might be one of the best spots for him to go. Now they're gonna have to let go of Anthony Simons, but I mean, Portland with Dame would be a pretty nice spot. You get a second superstar to play with that ain't afraid to take the big shots, not afraid to, be the focus or something. Dame already tweeted out a Photoshop picture of him and Durant. Like, Dame wants to win. I'm not I'm not against it, but
that's a nightmare
for Durant and the team, because he's requesting a trade. So the team got to be appeased with whatever trade they get.
And that's a dream come true, like, matchup in NBA 2K. Like, you playing 2K, you can get 30 with Dame, and then when they start double teaming, you kick it out to Kevin Durant. I mean,
the crazy thing was, about 2.5 years ago, we were saying the same thing. We was like, boy, it'd be crazy, man. You can get like 30 with Kyrie Irving, and then kick it out to Durant and get another 30. And then last year we was like, oh man, bro, it's crazy. We can get like a triple double with Harden, and then get 30 apiece with Durant and Kyrie. Like, boy, it's gonna be wild, boy. And now we're like, where's Durant going?
The run from the grind tour never stops, dog.
How the tables have turned.
He said, I want the 2 number 1 seeds as the 2 teams I want to be traded to. Run from the grind tour.
His legacy's done, by the way, y'all. It's over.
He
I
said
have heard that this is a big knock on his legacy, just for the simple fact of, you know, you're not really not my personal thing with this, but I've heard like not really being a leader. He's running when the going gets tough to different teams and not stepping up, not, you know, being that kind of leader to lead a franchise or anything. It's just like, man, the going gets tough. You getting going. I'm just like, oh, that's the takes that's going around the league. Like his legacy is very diluted because, you know, this is even something that even LeBron's had a slight thing about, was just going to different teams and winning different championships. It sort of dilutes the legacy a bit versus like sticking it out with one team mainly and doing it like that. And this is definitely diluting his, because it's like you brought the franchise over and now some of them are like, man, you letting Kyrie ruin your legacy, because now it's like he said him and Kyrie still want to play together. And I'm just like, bro, why? Like, that is not the answer. You do not need to play with Kyrie. You need to just leave him, let him go his way. You go a different way. I understand y'all friends. It's not good. Somebody even brought up a point. It was my last thing. I remember somebody brought up that, oh, you know how many games Kyrie has played in his tenure with the Nets? It was like 112, something like that. It was like, bro, Durant has played all of about 90-something games with the Nets. Because
sat out a year.
He sat out the first year. He was injured a good chunk of not this past year, but last year. And then this past year, played about 60 so games, something like that, 50, 60 games. So it's like all in total, he's played about 90-something games. Crazy.
Kyrie got kept out of those games.
And yet the Nets have given him like $300 million. But you know what? Like, you know, I don't blame the Nets.
Run from the grind tour is in full effect. Jalen Smith got a 2-year deal with the Indiana Pacers. Dante DiVincenzo just got a 2-year deal with the Golden State Warriors.
I don't care.
Really?
If it's not Malcolm Brogdon, it doesn't matter.
Really? DiVincenzo going over there with Steph. I like him. He's a good player. I like him. What is that? A UConn? And he's a national champion. Zelmay, you haven't said anything about your 76ers. Now, I think
we got PJ Tucker, and I like that. I do like PJ Tucker.
So they're still in limbo.
We waiting on, I'm going to quit on my team, James Harden, to come out. And we do got to, and if we actually put out a package, we had probably the best package for the Nets, for Durant.
Hey, I saw that move when they said Tybull, Maxey, and Harris, and picks. Like, Darren Moore was like, bro, here the table. Like, Darren Moore, like, here, I'm not afraid. He's like, bro, here's the table. He literally went for it. I was like, okay, my boy is not playing.
If that's the best by far. That's the best.
I respect it. And so far as I've seen, about the best, because you get a young star in Maxey. Tybull, we'll see how he does. You get Tobias Harris, who's like a good backup.
Mata, you wanna know what's good about that trade though? Your star player with Ben that I already played with them 3. So it ain't even like no period of you having to like form a cohesion. Most of these people done played 2 or 3 years together.
I mean, yeah, it'd be wild that dang near all the starting 5 at a certain point, except for Embiid, would have went straight to the Nets. And then the main 2 of the main 3 stars for the Nets would have went straight to the 76ers. Like, they just would have been brothers at this point. It'd have been wild.
That would be a crazy trade.
But you're gonna see what's gonna happen to him, as far as I can tell you. I don't
Oh, and Seth Curry. So he already got Seth. So it would be like almost the whole starting roster without it be. I guess you just switch Kyrie Irving for a Embiid, and that'd be the only difference.
76ers be like, well, you know, we got to choose between Ben and Embiid, so we're choosing Embiid, and we just getting rid of all the other players and letting Ben have all of those, and we're gonna pay the $20 million. And you know what? The NBA is just weird. How about this?
It's
the NBA
so
is just
crazy
weird.
right now. Like,
it's just weird as shit. So I got to measure out who's gonna have the crazy offseason between the NFL with all the quarterback and wide receiver switch rounds and what's going to happen in the NBA.
But can you trade? Because Durant kind of dissed James Harden in the All-Star game. Can you put them back on the same team?
Do you think it cares?
Durant is kind of, let's be honest, if he see this podcast, and me making that little slight joke, he gonna probably say I'm a god and you a peon, little scrub or something like that out of like insecurity. And we got like 8 views, dog. I'm like, why are you so mad? Paul George did diss me though. My first year doing YouTube, Paul George just randomly dissed me.
Hey, that means you're important.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Paul, look at me now, Paul George. I'm partnered on YouTube.
Speaking of which, hold on. So let's talk about the Bucks, the reigning champs from a couple of years ago. What moves they make? Because we saw that Portis is going to.
He bet they signed him back.
I thought the Warriors signed him to a 2-year.
No, they were supposed to, but then Milwaukee got Joe Ingles and had some more money left over, so they gave it to him.
Oh, okay, because like he was supposed to be like the heart and soul of their team, if you will. So I'm like,
So
the rich get richer if he goes to the Warriors, man.
Oh yeah, they got deficit with Devinchenko from them, so I guess they picked one player from the Bucks.
I mean, I think if I remember right, they picked up Joe Dumars, which I do like also that trade because they're trying to get their scoring options well, just in case like Middleton or somebody.
Joe Ingles too. Joe Ingles is a very good scorer.
Huh?
Joe Ingles is a very good scorer, and if Chris Middleton get hurt, they got somebody else.
Yeah.
Basically, Giannis, they got to score 50 a game.
Yeah, they're trying to get them backup scorers and stuff ready just in case something like that happens again. So I'm liking they're trying to get deep. You know, just in the roster wise, they're trying to get deep with what they got, and I'm with it. Like I'm with it. So like they're gonna be ugly. Boston gonna be ugly. I don't know the status of the Heat quite yet, but unless the Heat make a major trade and get a major acquisition, I don't really care if they get a top 4 seeding again because they're gonna end up flaming out in the playoffs at this point. I don't really care unless they get a major trade through. Then we're gonna reapproach them. But so far, Boston looking nice. Boston already got like dang near the top odds to get back to the finals again, just off the Malcolm Brogdon trade, which is crazy because I feel like the Bucks should be the favorites. But whatever, the Bucks gonna be nice. They're gonna be nice.
What about the Bulls? Since we up there in the Midwest, what about the Bulls? I don't think they made any like crazy moves.
They gonna have a good regular season and lose because they got a bunch of regular season players.
They re-signed Zach LaVine, but just
regular season players.
I don't really know if they gonna make any more noise in the playoffs or not. I don't have that answer. We'll see. They got good players, but they didn't show up in the playoffs. So
regular season MVP DeMar DeRozan.
Let my man make it, bro.
Shout out to Brunson. I'll get to the Knicks real quick. Brunson got a bag from the Knicks. Is that what?
Oh, my bad. That's another person that just committed robbery. I forgot I I'm so proud for Jalen Brunson. But I knew it wasn't good because the Knicks are just overpaying again. And I can't blame you for that, bro. But the Knicks are definitely overpaying again because it is very arguable if Jalen Brunson is even a top 15 point guard in the league.
Is he a starter? Like, is he legit a starter?
He's a
starter. Like,
for like Orlando, for like
he was starting on the Mavericks.
It's the Knicks, Joe. Joe, being on the Mavericks is way better than the Knicks.
He didn't sell tickets today. I'll tell you that much. He did not sell tickets today.
He got paid. He don't care about tickets.
Joe, he got paid, but I'm saying as an organization making that move, is New York cats out there like are they just?
Bro, this is New York. New York's organization has been horrible for like the last 2 decades at least.
Yeah,
like
Joe,
their organization has been horrible for the last 2 decades.
Joe, let's put it like this, Joe. The Knicks sells out every year regardless.
Yeah.
Madison Square Garden.
To this point, they don't care no more. They kick Spike Lee out the building every year. He get mad, go on first take, complain about it, then come back when they offer him a
lifetime or season tickets.
They are hurt.
But no, it's arguable if he's even a top 15 point guard. So he got 25 million per year. It's just like, okay.
They put teams together. They've done it before. I've seen them do it.
The other 31 teams in the league, they put something out there for you to see.
I've seen J.R. Smith, Melo, and Amari out there, and that was a 2K nightmare at one point.
You got Melo. You got Melo hit prime. That's different.
That was a nightmare. I hate when somebody picked.
And you know the sad fact, Melo in his prime should have left when he took that money too. So
7 years with the Knicks, y'all. 7 years with.
He should have left.
And then Phil Jackson tried to turn everybody against him in some weird way and kick him out the team. And then put together the worst team I've ever seen in my life, and they go to like the playoffs to the worst record in the league in 1 year because Phil Jackson decided.
They won't draft anybody from America for nothing. It's like, I'm gonna get a point guard. Maybe I'll get another Tony Parker. And then it's like, oh, I'm gonna get Porzingis, and it's gonna be great. We're gonna rebuild the franchise around Porzingis. Oh my god!
We got Jeremy Lin and Porzingis, and I'm like, oh, these the starter team. All right, Melo right there. He proven.
You revived the career. What's his name? Now he's the franchise player of the Knicks.
If you just want me to be honest with you, like the Knicks starting five right now, their new point guard Jalen Brunson,
okay,
Evan Fournier, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, and Mitchell Robinson.
A lot of people, they can't dribble with their left hand.
But I would go see it though. That's not a bad team on paper.
It's not a bad team on paper, and they're gonna end up doing the same thing they did last year, fighting for a play-in spot.
Talk about Atlanta, y'all.
Well, we got Atlanta on the Knicks. Before we get off the Knicks,
my bad.
They do got two players that can't dribble with their right hand. Like, I don't know how you survive with two players on your team that can't dribble with their right hand. RJ Barrett cannot dribble with his right hand, and Julius Randle refuses to own. I see that man get double teamed to his left and still go left and turn the ball over because he just refuses to dribble with his right hand.
Well, they got an organization up there that realizes weaknesses, and they identify that, and they work on it in the summer.
And they continue to use. Then they tell you, overcome your weakness by continually going toward it without trying to fix it. Speaking of a team that's was on top and then wasn't, Atlanta.
Talk about the arch rivals of New York City, not the Knicks, the city. So
Trae Young is still the king of New York. Shout out to P. Diddy. If Trae Young every time somebody goes to New York for no reason, like it just randomly in a TikTok, they be like Trae Young, and I'm like, he ain't even here.
So who did Atlanta bring in that's supposed to be this super duper prolific backcourt at this point? And
the DeJounte Murray.
It's interesting. It's interesting.
A 6'4" big point guard from the Spurs that kept them in playoff contention with a horrible roster. So I do have to give him credit for
terrible roster.
A horrible roster. He among 5 players in the league, including Trae Young, had averaged 20 points, 8 assists.
Now
I don't see it. I just don't see it how it works.
Now Trae Young and DeJounte Murray have been wanting to play together. So it's not something that's just
they played AAU together.
They wanted to play together. The thing about it, they both play the same position.
Exactly.
So to me, it's a little weird of a pickup. Like naturally, DeJounte Murray will have to go to the 2. Like I think he has to go to the 2.
You can't put Trae 5'10". You have to put.
I thought at one point you could put Trae to the 2, but that's not going to happen. You can't put Trae to the 2.
He'll get exposed.
But Trae finna get bullied by because a lot of these shooting guards are just big. So I don't want to do that. So it's like you can have a small point guard and just like that at work. But me defensively, I don't know if they've gotten better because you got DeJounte Murray. He a big body, but I don't really know if that backcourt is really going to be like forget
Trae good on defense. Trae the problem on defense.
Trae's still a defensive liability.
You hunt Trae Young down. You hunt him. You get picked.
Like I mean, they still gonna have DeAndre Hunter, John Collins, Capella. Like it'll be straight, but I think, man, I still think they're gonna struggle.
I thought Capella got put out.
I sort of like as far as I know, he's still there.
Okay.
But as far as I can see, I like the way the team is trying to try to like retool and restructure. I'm with it. I don't know defensively they really gonna be it. And Trae got to get bigger and he got to get better in the mid range. He can't just be, getting hot and just trying to shoot from downtown. That's not gonna get it done. Like the East is more grimy than the West is turned. The East is always just a grimier side. They can get ugly. They'll get down low. They'll get you bullied. And
95 to 91 games.
Yeah, like Miami is still here. Like Boston is still here. The Bucks is still here. Teams that are just now outright big and will just bully people. And I'm just like, Trae gonna have to get bigger. He gotta start to diversify his game to get some like Steph Curry, reigning Finals MVP. He gotta get some of that kind of game. Floaters, layup, cutting, 2-point. He gotta get that kind of game in there. You got to get that kind of game in there.
The report is saying they want Trae to be the point guard, but in the Steph Curry mode where he run off the ball. He brings up court, he runs off the ball, and DeJounte set him up.
I told you. You're going to have to get some kind of Steph game. But I understand wanting to be like Steph Curry, but heck, he's even shorter than Steph Curry, and even Steph has suffered at times. Defensive. Like he's a straight defender now, but even he's suffered at times when he's starting out to try and be a good defender, trying to find his own role, his own weight. At trade, this is just his third year coming up. Like third or fourth. Yeah, third year.
Maybe it's fourth, wouldn't it? I think it's fourth.
So
but, yeah.
I don't know. I don't really know how this is gonna work. I don't know. And then you in the East that's getting better. It's supposed to get better. I don't really know how it's gonna work. I can't lie. So
but Dejounte's a playmaker, so maybe it'll make it work. Like I said, for a point guard, he's a big body, so that actually works out. He's about Dwayne Wade size when he was first in the league. So, but he's more of a playmaker than Dwayne Wade. Do I think that puts him in the contender category? No, but do I think that secures him a playoff? Probably, because Trey don't have to do as much work as he did last year to try to keep him in the playoff. Because if y'all watch last year, they struggled because Trey be tired, and they get blowed out every game. Trey be tired, so.
They only won one playoff game.
Yeah, so.
R.I.P.
horribly. So.
R.I.P. to Kevin Huerter, and he got sent to the Kings. So.
Oh yeah, free agency ain't done yet. A lot of them are really just waiting for Durant to make his move, so that once that domino falls, they'll know what route they need to take to build up their own rosters. So that's really what they're all waiting for. They're waiting on Durant and the Knicks to make their move. And then we'll see what happens to Kyrie Irving and all the other dominoes are falling the same way.
So we may be looking at this all the way up until almost the All-Star game at this point.
Maybe for Kyrie. I don't know.
I'm just saying for some of these trades and stuff, like,
for Kyrie, maybe. I don't know about Durant.
We still have
Durant ain't gonna last. Durant's not gonna last.
Kyrie
I don't think Durant's gonna last through the weekend, to be perfectly honest with you. I really think
interesting.
I really think they're gonna try to get Durant done as soon as possible. So because we're already gonna get ready to come up to July, so I think they're gonna try to get this done as soon as possible. Because it's not really something that you just need to wait. You got offers. It's not like the offers are really gonna change. Free agency started. Nobody else is gonna do really any major moves, most likely. Now I can't say that because Durant just popped out with a trade request. But I know a lot of them are waiting for Durant, and Durant just constantly talking because he wants to. Now that you've announced this, he wants to go ahead and get it done. You're not going to just try to let this linger weeks on and be like, oh, well, Durant wants to trade, but we'll get into July. No, you're gonna want training camps and all that kind of stuff to be with their team set in stone over the next 2 weeks. Like to me, I don't think we're going to 4th of July weekend and all this kind of stuff. I figure give it a few more days at best. And if it's not done there, then something has gone wrong when it comes to these trade talks. If nothing's gone wrong with trade talks, or they haven't found an alternative to get around this Ben Simmons contract, I think it just be done in a couple of days, honestly.
I mean, a good organization would do that. So,
but Kyrie gonna last probably to the trade deadline.
Kyrie, who knows? Because
people don't want Kyrie.
He didn't have a good trade value before Durant wanted out. He didn't have a good trade value. So he now,
has no reason to prove himself to anybody.
He literally tried to get traded, called around the league, and everybody like, we don't want you. And then said, all right, I'll resign.
37.
So now it's like it's even rougher now to trade for him, knowing he's gonna be there 1 year and knowing he's made it already obvious that he wants to go to the Lakers for reasons. So the fact that you're really gonna be hesitant to trade for him unless just for the expiring contract. But the Nets are not going to give him up easy because they're going to want at least a star. So they told LA, during this whole LA fiasco with them at first, they told LA, we're not even going to listen to a trade with y'all unless y'all include Anthony Davis. And that was just for Kyrie Irving. Now I can't blame them because LA don't really have anything nobody else would want. It ain't going to be none of this Russell Westbrook and a 2027 draft pick. No, I'm sorry. Kyrie Irving is still Kyrie Irving. So, and they already said we're not going to even listen to y'all unless y'all give up Anthony Davis.
If I'm LeBron, I don't
really think it's going to trade.
If I'm LeBron, I don't want Kyrie back.
Well, Lakers are desperate, bro.
We don't have anything to work with.
They desperate.
We don't have nothing to work with. They literally had a segment on First Take or just all the talking heads about some kid from Michigan State that went the second round. If you was that good, you would have won the first round. So
they desperate.
Hey, Draymond Green said he got drafted that same pick from Michigan State.
Yeah, it still took him about 5 years though. So
yeah, Draymond is different. He was like, "How can I make my way in this league and get a $90 million deal? Oh, I know what I could do. Act like I'm active on defense, sometimes hit threes. We all know when he stopped hitting threes, but somehow like be vocal, make them think that you're the defensive guy, and you get away with having 3 and 5 and 7-point games because you did that one thing.
Be an emotional leader, Joe. We gotta get out of here. We got the Boys podcast about to come up next. Shout out to anybody that was listening to that. If you was on the wrestling podcast that was here, also shout out to you if you came on that.
That's
where can they find you?
UniqoWilliams.com. You can also watch me on this timeline. I'm keeping an eye on all this crazy ass shit that's going on with the sports that we love so much.
Monte, where can they find you?
Your boy Monterey Hudson, all social media platforms, especially Instagram and TikTok. Click on the link tree. See everything I'm a part of. Blurred Cartel, Broke Up with Dude.
Oh, yeah. Man,
Coach,
showing out. Follow them on his show, too. They're amazing.
Oh, yeah. Make it make sense. Coming sometime this weekend. We'll see if it's tomorrow or Sunday. Got plenty to go through.
Y'all got a 3-day weekend, big dog.
Yeah.
Gonna do something.
You know, I'll be on full of COVID.
Can I ask you this real quick, Monterey? Are y'all going over the pizza? I mean, not the pizza, the McDonald's thing. The McDonald's for the kids. So if you don't mind, can y'all call me up for like that segment? I don't got to be on the whole show or nothing. Can I say my piece? Pizza.
I do it on my show. I have 0.
Don't worry about it. I'm gonna yell at Monte all weekend, sick and all, about his TikTok comments that they all make me upset because Monte TikTok comments upset me because I promise you, Monte followers are a bunch of Goku stands, and Monte don't even like Goku like that. Every TikTok he's like Goku last place, he gets watched by everybody, and they just sit there and argue with him every time.
That's why the algorithm like is just like not showing me Monterey all the time. Like I literally have to search for him, or they show me some shit from December of 2021. They keep me out. Like, oh, you talking about Jujutsu Kaisen? Okay, cool. You can see that, but when you get to
I don't know what to tell you, man.
They told me Goku can beat Sun Jin Woo, and I'm like, are you out your mind?
Goku is literally
tell them that.
He's literally unbeatable.
I bet they'll tell me that he can beat Rimuru, and I'm like, Rimuru got 3 gods underneath him.
No.
If Toriyama didn't write it, they're not stronger than him. Toriyama.
Well, technically, Toriyama said Gohan's stronger, so Goku ain't even the strongest out of his son.
Toriyama don't know what he want to do with these people right now, bro. He just know he's drawing them with new colors.
Let's go silver with red eyes.
Shut up. I want everybody to shut up about the greatest show of all time.
Let's talk about orange pickles. All right, we know Joe is in Monte comments.
I'm about to make a burner account just talk shit.
By the way, Monte said that Kami Got Killed is on that list for worst anime from manga. I kind of agree with him, but Tokyo Ghoul season 3 is still the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Oh boy,
Tokyo Ghoul season 3 is terrible. We're gonna have a whole channel. We're gonna have a whole podcast about Monte's takes.
I'm actually like if nothing's super.
And I'm gonna agree with Monte a lot, so y'all might well get mad too.
They're gonna hate me for my takes then.
If nothing super duper crazy happens next week, I'm okay with a special, a mom raised takes.
By the way, we can just gonna put them up too. But we're gonna get Monte to make the stream yard, and we gonna put every take.
Can we start doing making the supercut of all the takes that he has, like at least like a minute long of him saying like, Gojo is this, and then Goku is that. Like we just want all the hottest takes compilation, and then just put it out there and say this week on Just a Fan. Be ready to argue.
It would be hilarious because they be upset at Monte, and then he got like people like, you my favorite channel, but then they diss him at the same time.
What do you mean NES is a love story?
It's been an honor serving with all you fine young men and women, everybody watching.
Yeah, we gotta get to the boys. We late. We would.
All right, man.
All right, peace. Appreciate y'all. My links below. All that.